Thomas Lloyd calling you out, do your one job and do the dishes. Lloydie has clocked up 8 hours a day of scrolling Facebook the last 3 days, so hopefully he does the dishes today.
A few moments later.
It's always me, dude. Anything gets done around this pit, sadly, it's always me. You want a job done, you got to do it yourself.
So apart from who's on dish duty shenanigans, tell us what's going on with the bikes.
Andy wants to keep his world's bike nice. He wants to go back to the black one. I think we have black and orange kit and he doesn't think it's going to go with the red. I think he just wants to put it on the wall and keep it nice, maybe some resale value in the future. So I'm just going to put a suspension back on his previous frame, give that a big service. I'd say we're going to go a lot softer and probably spikier tyres. Loudenville's quite hard, it's a real flat top section and then the last section is real steep. So trying to find like a balance of the bike where it's like front end high for the steep stuff, but then up the top on the flat, you work like a big windbreak up there. Quite often there's a headwind, so I think stack height, bar height is going to be important, and yeah, probably tyres is going to be key. The mud's going to be heavy, I reckon. It's going to be like that peanut buttery stuff like we've seen in Leogang on wet years before, so I think we're going to have our work cut out. That wasn't back up then. That wasn't.
Yeah, it was good. I had a really good week in Andorra. Enjoyed the track. Bike was nice, kit was nice, the whole setup was good, and had a good ride. So yeah, I'm buzzing with that, and then try and carry the momentum on here as well. And I like the track here. I was doing well here last year as well. I decided to put it down on the ground, but I'm excited for this weekend too. Well, I actually came here the week before Andorra, and it was quite similar, to be honest. It was super dry, blown out and dusty, but this week it's looking like it could be a bit different to that. But this has much steeper sections in it. This does have a really good mix of everything. You've got flat out at the top, some nice jumps, some nice steep sections, so still quite short here, which Andorra was quite short as well. And typically I wouldn't really be a fan of the short tracks, but last week went well, so we'll just run with that.
Crazy week, like last week, yeah, Loris managed to win his first Elite World Championship in Andorra, yeah, crazy.
So moving on to Loudenvielle, it's a completely different track. What's the setup going to be like?
We're just gonna start the same as last week, and then we're gonna tweak a little bit. There's a lot of flat section on the top and really steep at the bottom, so it's raining a lot at the moment, and yeah, we may do some different wheel choice and tire choice, so maybe the wheels and tires will be different.
So, Loris Vergier, 2024 World Champion.
Crazy to say.
How does that feel?
Feels good. So it's pretty unreal. We straight away into another race, so trying to not diverge too much and be focused. So hopefully we can have fun this week, and same with the last race. But yeah, I didn't have time to really enjoy it, but it felt like the best feeling in the world, to be honest. Like it's a child's dream, and yeah, so lucky to be here and live this, so stoked.
So yeah, the track here and the track last week, they're completely different.
I think the weather is going to be opposite also, so yeah, I'll try to enjoy. Last year wasn't the best for me here, so I'll try to improve on that, and hopefully we can have a good weekend. But yeah, it's definitely the opposite, and we know why we're good in Andorra, and we need to figure how to be not too bad here, so that's the plan.
What's happening, Marshy?
What's that now, huh?
What you doing today?
Bringing these over to Evan for a little juice up. They're really dusty in the last race, wherever it was, Andorra. And yeah, just a little bit of juice up. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you? Nelly, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Just a juice up.
Okay.
Just a lower service, everything else is good.
Excellent.
Can you put me at 180 psi?
Yep.
And everything else is open.
Okay.
So that's just what? I think it's one.
It's service day. It's downhill service day. Yesterday was enduro service day. yeah, it's a busy weekend. We kind of gear up. We had we're still buzzing off of our amazing world champ results last week in Andorra. So RockShox, we were absolutely ecstatic about the athletes and everybody we get the chance to support. So we're good on that, but knew that we were queuing up to come straight into Loudenvielle. Definitely a drastic change compared to Andorra last week. Yeah, just going through some of the athletes we haven't seen at Worlds or here, and just checking stuff over after Worlds, just kind of a reset day. This is obviously a significantly different track. We realize there's, I think, like 326, 327 downhill athletes that are going to be riding the track tomorrow. And average training day, I think most athletes will probably get about 8 runs tomorrow or Friday on the practice day. 326 athletes, 8 runs, it's like 2,600 runs tomorrow that'll go down that track. So we're trying to look at like, how is this going to impact us? How is it going to change setup and changes, and try to preemptively think of like, what are we going to have people coming over and telling us? Doesn't matter what the weather does. That track's going to change pretty drastically with that many riders, that many runs, even just tomorrow. So, and it is so steep. The nice thing at this point in the year is that sponsored athletes will have several setups. So if the setup that they used for Andorra isn't working perfectly, they have another setup that may be more appropriate for wet weather or for slightly different tracks, steep-wise like this. We're pretty excited to be at this point in the year and feel pretty confident in what we have, the tools we have, the products and custom stuff we've done for athletes. So we're in a good place, but at the same time, then you throw in other factors like a changing track or weather, and you get some surprises. So we're just trying to anticipate surprises and end on a high note.
I like it here. Yeah, excited to be back. I think it's going to be a little bit more wet, maybe a little slower, but yeah, it's pretty flat at the top, but I remember it rolled a lot quicker than I thought it would. I remember, like, it's not like you're like gaining speed while pedaling. You're kind of like already up to speed, and it's just like a lot of like tucking and pumping, which I kind of like that stuff. And then yeah, the whole like bottom half of the track just goes steep. So and last year the dirt was really nice. It was pretty fresh. We'll see how it is this year, but yeah, the whole track is really fun, and yeah, I'm excited to see how it is like a year later, and also with this rain. I mean, we're pretty set on what we like with suspension at this point. It's more just like see what tires we want to run, and like how the track actually beds in. So we've got everything set up, wet screams, cut, like shorties. That'll be like probably first day, just trying different tires and stuff, but we're lucky we got some special stuff. Not everyone has, so on a track like this where it's really like kind of two halves, being able to make a little adjustment on the fly is definitely going to be a benefit.
Doc, how's it going, dude?
It's going, dude.
Yeah.
It's going. It's good to talk about these things. Worlds is a race where it's men first or last. We're fighting for that jersey, and started to drop from the end, and after a long weekend, definitely wasn't the most ideal run up to a race run I've ever had in my career, but was on pace. Green splits, 0.5 up at the Worlds. Everybody has the dream of being a world champion that gets in that starting gate, so it's the one time you can really push for that without fear. Man, I was riding good. As far, I mean, I made it a little farther than like, so you could say maybe I was winning the race at the time, and yeah, unfortunately just got the rear wheel off the ground, got bucked a little bit, and was kind of leaning away from the direction I needed to turn, and went over the back of the berm, and then just kind of rode off the track after. I mean, of course I adapted and tried to overcome, but it was not possible really. So I actually made the mistake one corner up from where I slid out, and that was it. That's all she wrote. 200 meters from the finish line. I think that one's happened to a lot of the greats in their day. Went down right before the finish line of a world title, so maybe I'm on my way. Who knows?
Loudenvielle, what do you think of this place?
Yeah, man. First ever second place here, 0.7 off. Got beat by Bruni here last year with a big mistake. So, man, looking forward to it. Looks like it may be similar conditions, rainy throughout the weekend, and maybe we'll get some sun for the race. Who knows? But yeah, just plugging away, try to get on pace with these boys.
I'm helping on Benoît Coulange and Camille Balanche's bikes this year.
Yeah, so we changed up the cassette a bit so that he can have a harder gear quicker. Instead of shifting 2 gears, we remove a cog so that he only has to shift 1 gear to be in the right ratio. He likes a very quiet bike, so we use the STF fuse and a little guide on the bottom to make it nice and quiet. Yeah, like every rider, he likes a clean setup, quite a bit of support in the suspension. When he can, he likes to ride higher rebound speeds. That we had a bit slowed down for Andorra because it was quite fast and rough.
Yeah, Worlds was amazing. I don't think we really could have asked for much more from the team. Angel finished 7th in Elite, 1.3 off the win, which was awesome, and Asa won the title. Battled through some adversity. He was a little bit beat up during the week. Even the morning of the race, his shoulder was bothering him a little bit. But man, he's got the mindset of like a real champion to put all that behind him and come through with the win. Like, I'm learning a lot with having these two guys ride the bike now. Ace is easy. He's new and he likes everything, and he just wants to ride. Angel has a lot more experience, especially working with Commencal and developing their bikes over the past couple of years. So he brings a whole nother skill set, I guess, to the team. I think now that we have more riders involved and we can all kind of put our heads together, it's just helping us learn a lot more about the bike setup. I'm really happy with the carbon chainstay and seat stay, and then we use a CNC'd rocker link. So with all those points, the suspension points are really precise, so they all fit together perfectly, and the moving pieces, the unsprung mass, is really light, which I think is a good thing. And then with the aluminum front triangle, we can adjust all the suspension points we need. Between the aluminum front triangle and the CNC'd rocker link, we can make any adjustment to the frame within the window that we need to do that. If we were with a carbon mold, we'd kind of be stuck. I'm talking to some other guys that were trying to make adjustments to their bike, but there's really not much they can do when they're with a carbon fiber mold. They're pretty expensive. You need a specific one per size. And while apples to apples, it's probably better, you're not going to change it for 3 years, 4 years, like you see most like production cycles of bikes. So I think with the aluminum, we can react super quickly and we can get them made locally. And there's, not much performance difference between the two.